Cyril Ramaphosa will today lead high-level talks at the SA-Botswana Business Roundtable. Government and business delegates from South Africa and Botswana are gathered in Gaborone to engage on ways the two countries can strengthen trade and investment cooperation. Let's take it there live. The President is at the podium.
As we also recognize the two ministers sitting at the podium who have been helping to direct this process and enhancing the trade between our two countries, Minister Khafela and Minister Patel, business leaders from both South Africa and Botswana, and distinguished guests and colleagues and friends, Your Excellency President Masisi. Sometimes it is quite helpful for presidents in describing situations to be colorful. You mentioned or you postulated what people who came to Botswana 28 years ago could have been wearing. And I expected you to be much more colorful and descriptive, because I would have wanted to hear that history. You seem to have some secrets that you are not disclosing to us. President Masisi, I'm really pleased that we are undertaking or participating in this forum, living up to the undertaking we gave each other in April of this year to hold this engagement as we do. And I'm pleased that our promise to have this forum has now materialized. I was rather pleased when I heard our minister saying that we are going to hold this forum, and pleasantly surprised that we were holding it so soon after our BNC in April. This, I must say, we need to applaud our ministers for. They are really action-oriented. They are truly action-oriented, both our ministers of trade and industry, as well as international relations and foreign relations on your part, as well as the officials. This is what I believe behoves well with regard to taking forward a number of identified action points that have come through from the forum and will also come through in the discussions that will ensue this morning. The trade and investment ties between our two countries have grown stronger over the years. But you're absolutely right. The links between our two countries do not date back to 28 years. They date back, as you correctly said, thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. And if you look at it and you peel the various contours of history, you will find that we are one people bound together by the region that we live in, bound together by a number of other very powerful strings that tie us together. And the trade ties and the strings have become stronger, and we must be grateful for that, because they lay a firm basis for even greater economic cooperation and integration into our common future. I have come through with ministers as well as representatives from our state-owned companies, as well as our private-owned companies, financial institutions, as well as officials from our government departments. I'm encouraged by the work that has already begun through our respective trade and industry ministers to align our plans towards a common Southern African Customs Union plan of action for operationalizing the African Continental Free Trade Area. The joint export promotion platforms that are being discussed at the SACU level for leveraging the AFC-FTA trade opportunities are really promising. I urge that the same vigor should be given to concluding the work of creating industrial value chains here in our region. Because it is through these value chains that we'll be able to grow our industrial exports to the rest of the continent. Yes, you do say that South Africa is the most industrialized country on the continent. But we should see this as a great benefit for our region, because it is through this base that we should lift all of us in the region, all the countries in Southern Africa, and particularly South Africa and Botswana, and use this endowment to ensure that we do grow and capture the opportunities that are to be found on the continent. New markets in West, East, North, and Central Africa hold immense potential for both South Africa and Botswana. And those markets are beckoning us. They are calling on us to come and exploit them and benefit from them, but also to benefit the peoples of the various countries on our beloved continent. We will be able to produce and export local goods, products and services to our fellow African countries that would otherwise be sourced from outside the continent. Many of our sister countries on the continent keep complaining that they keep on importing various goods as well as services from outside of our continent, and they would love to have goods and services from our continent. And I'd like to believe that South Africa and Botswana are well positioned to capture those opportunities. Even so, as we do so, we do not seek to displace other African businesses. The intention instead is complementary trade and industrial development with those countries as well. Botswana and South Africa can both achieve more by working closely together. In other words, I'd like to encourage both our publicly held entities as well as our privately owned businesses to think of various initiatives of addressing the continental market jointly, together, through joint initiatives where they cooperate closely, through joint companies where they form joint ventures, joint companies, and be able to take advantage of this market. The development of value chains can also move our region towards a brighter new future of joint investment and development. I'm also pleased, my dear President and brother, to note that work is underway in our region on a work program on industrialization to promote industrial development and regional value chains, to promote export promotion, investment attraction, and to develop new businesses. Work is also underway on a number of areas or subsectors of our economies. For instance, in leather and leather products, and fresh produce, meat and meat products, textiles, clothing, cosmetics, and essential oils. These sectors present opportunities for the development of regional value chains, not only across our region, but also beyond, into the hinterland of our continent. They also present opportunities for our region to export, yes, to the rest of the continent, but even beyond that, to the United States through the AGOA, to the European Union through EPA, and to other strategic markets in Asia and the Middle East. And saying so means that here lies great opportunities for us here in Southern Africa to be the real manufacturing industrial hub of our continent. And these are some of the opportunities. There are other opportunities where we can engender cooperation, for instance, in the area of minerals, for which our region is so well known. Botswana is currently the chair of the Kimberley process, an initiative that has successfully addressed concerns regarding the diamond industry. And last year was Botswana was the world's leading producer of diamonds by value. This position used to be occupied by South Africa, but Botswana has now taken the lead. And we are particularly pleased and proud that our sister neighbor country is now leading in an area that we have, as South Africa, excelled in. Are we jealous? No. Are we proud? Yes. President Masisi introduced me to the Minister and he said, here's the Minister of Diamonds. And I was very eager to shake his hands, hoping that there would be some diamonds that will flow from his hands. So I'm one of those who is immensely excited that Botswana was able, as a nation also, to achieve a very dynamic and forward-looking partnership with a company that originated in South Africa, which is De Beers, and that Botswana is a key equity owner and holder with De Beers. But more importantly, President Masisi, that you were able to entice and win over the mighty diamond trading entity to move from London to come to Botswana. The diamond entity that markets diamonds all over the world is located here in Southern Africa. And we're proud that it is here in Gaborone, and well done for them. Your Excellency, in April this year, you opened the first SACU investment roundtable in Gaborone under the theme, Positioning SACU, our customs union, as an industrial investment, manufacturing and innovative hub for the African continent and beyond. This remains our collective aspirations and should really be so, particularly for Botswana and South Africa. Over the past 5 years, South Africa's foreign direct investment stock in Botswana has increased year on year. While we will continue to encourage South African investment into Botswana, we are encouraged by Botswana companies that have already invested and continue to invest in South Africa. They attract capital to come into South Africa.
Well, we're taking you out of that address by President Cyril Ramaphosa at the South Africa-Botswana Business Roundtable currently underway at the Gaborone ICC. President Ramaphosa there saying Botswana and South Africa are well positioned to take advantage of benefits coming out of the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement, and they want to use SACU as the framework for doing so.